Hello, all, and welcome. Sorry we're a little late, but we're here now, and that's really all that matters. So, joining me today is my host and co host, Peter of Gonna Go For It fame.
We could say the late co-host because I'm the reason everyone is late because the Netherlands are officially behind because our clock went back 1 hour. So I thought the show was going to start in an hour, which apparently it doesn't.
This is what happens when the Dutch take over the creation evolution debate.
This is what happens when the US is behind on everything, and even on time. Because
True. Have you ever seen that meme? That's like it's 7 o'clock in Moscow, 3 o'clock in Paris, and 1950 in the United States. You seen that?
yeah. Although the Russians could be back in the 1900s now as well as things.
That's fair.
So.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. But it's
let's get the other guy into.
And then we also have Nestling, one of my editors. Welcome.
Hello. If I have something new to talk about, well, not new, but at least in a new video.
A new video, absolutely. I'm tired of listening to Pamela Acker blather on, so we're finally watching something else. We're actually watching.
Should we do a quick update on Mr. Adnan Oktar, who was arrested in 2018, I think, or what was it? No,
Is he still in prison for like 10,000 years?
Oh, it's better. It's better. So so in 2021, he was sentenced to 1,075 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And then on March 15, on 2022, the verdict was overturned by the Turkish Court of Appeal. Did you know that?
So he's back out in the world?
No. He got a new trial because the trial had to be redone. And they released 68 of the defendants, but not the 16 high-profile ones, including Adnan Oktar. And then he was sentenced to 8,000, that is 8,658 years. Don't you think he'd wish that his sentence wasn't overturned?
So safe to say that he's not getting out for a little while.
He got 7,500, over 7,500 more years in prison.
That's pretty funny.
Yes. We should get some Turkish judges into the United States to see if we can overturn Kent Hoven's sentence as he still wishes to happen.
So that's like over 100 life sentences, basically,
Mm-hmm.
for his crimes. Yeah, which was sex trafficking, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, there were several things.
Okay.
Let me.
Because I don't remember. I wasn't really closely following it.
Forming a criminal enterprise, financial fraud, sexual abuse.
Oh, okay.
Which includes sexual intercourse with minors and kidnapping children.
You know, Peter.
And then
Peter,
military espionage, money laundering, and torture. As if the list wasn't long enough. So
that's crazy. I got a question, Peter. You mentioned pedophilia in there. Is he a drag queen?
Adnan Oktar? No.
Yeah. No, that's right. He's not a drag queen. He's a Turkish creationist. That's crazy.
He would be some kind of minister, I guess.
Just like all of our
just like all the guys
over here.
Yeah, you see on Twitter 2 or 3 times a day, because I follow an account who posts all of them who get arrested. It's 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah, it's crazy how like it's never drag queens who are like out there, assaulting children or whatever. It's always like a priest, preachers. I mean, not always, but a lot of them are these
Christian ministers.
Good upstanding, moral, godly men. So
Yeah. So a couple of days ago, there was one, and I forgot his name. He's apparently famous somewhere because he's the MAGA Christian preacher that endorsed Donald Trump. So he's behind bars for fiddling with kids too.
Surprise!
No
Shock
surprise.
and awe.
Yeah.
It's funny because if you look at like QAnon, for instance, QAnon's one of their major claims to fame was that they popularized the idea that the Democrats are like eating children, basically, among other things. And then it's really funny that so they whipped up all this paranoid like pedophilia fervor, and then it wasn't the Democrats. It's like always, conservatives doing this, like priests, pastors, etc., cis dudes. Yeah, it's crazy how that keeps on happening. It's crazy. So let's see. In the live chat right now, we have RJ, we have Arcton, Vesta Freya, and Majestic Peaback. Hello, all you guys. Welcome to the show. A little bit of news before I will get back to the story behind how we unearthed this video, because none of us unearthed it, someone else did. First of all, I will be getting married next Saturday. And so, yay, exciting stuff. It's not this Saturday, not this upcoming one, but the next one, the 9th. And then a couple people from the interwebs are going to be coming to that, which will be fun. I'm very excited to get her done, and so as it happens, my lovely fiance was actually the one who found this video that we were going to watch. It was on a disc. So at one of our local universities, there were some professors who were like cleaning out their offices. So a bunch of them were like giving away books that they had that they just didn't want anymore. So there are a bunch of tables that have books from these professors. They're just kind of giving them away. And she was looking at them, and she happened to come across this disc. And she doesn't. We don't.
Yes.
I think.
And
we
when
don't
we
remember
say
whose it was.
when we say disc, we have to say this was a CD. Not a DVD. It was a CD.
Right. Yes, it's a CD from 2006.
Yes.
So some professors had this CD in their office for what, 18 years?
Which is kind of evolution, isn't it? Because Hoven to this day will still say, "You'll have to watch our videotape number 7." Videotape? Right. Didn't that go out? I mean, when CDs.
Right, he's still trying to sell you like video cassettes out there in Alabama or Florida, where the frick he is. The backwater of Appalachia or whatever.
Alabama. He's in Alabama.
Yeah, so he's hiding out there in the woods with his little cult of either pedophiles or pedophile adjacents. So either way. Anyway.
Slight update. He had a few guys on his videos quite recently, which are called the Proverbs guys, and I off and on interact with those people. So there's now one Proverbs guy less. He was kicked out of the ministry. Guess why, Jackson?
Why?
Inappropriate behavior with a minor.
Oh, shock and awe. Who could have foreseen this? No one could have seen this coming. Truly out of left field.
And they've told me, so the leading guy, the president of Proverbs Guys Ministry, has assured me that that's not pedophilia.
Cool.
You can be inappropriate with a minor. I'm at a loss for words, but I will be talking to him as soon as I can about this, because this is a topic he doesn't want to talk about. So obviously, I'm going to bring it up.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm so shocked that keeps happening to the members of Hoven's cult. That's crazy. Oh, I guess another news also before we start with this, we just released a new video, a new scripted video, which was the fruit fly's tale. So if you are interested in embryology and embryogenesis and morphogenesis, this is the video for you.
Mhm.
So feel free to check that out. I had fun writing that. Nestle, did you have fun with that one?
Yeah, that was a pretty fun video to edit and also to edit the script for and also watching, of course. I think it is also one of my favorite topics, basically, because I'm a bit disillusioned with the usual story of the genome is a blueprint for organism, and seeing these things like, oh, it's not all just genes. Basically, it's also like physical processes like diffusion and gradients and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think this is pretty cool stuff. The next video is the rotifer's tale, which is about why rotifers aren't having sex and why they should be. So, well, I don't know if they should be, but but a bunch of them aren't for whatever reason. So, we're going to be talking about that. So, that'll be the next one.
Jackson Wheat live on stream, urging to have sex. That's a news. I didn't.
We're going to
think...
be encouraging the.
I did not think I would ever be here to witness that, but it just happened.
Exactly. I intend to shock and amaze. So, all right. Okay, so, are we ready to start watching this video, this Harun Yahya video?
We will get flashbacks from Pothole 54's coverage of what was it, the Hovind theory at the start, because it's going to be never mind.
Didn't he just put out the Crocoduck Award thing, didn't he, the other day?
Yes, he did.
Who won it?
It's a guy I've never heard of before, actually. But
really?
Yes, it's a new one.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. I'm curious.
And another shocker, I'm friends with a Christian in the UK, and when I talked to him, he used to come on different channels. He used to have his own Christian channel on YouTube, but he quit all of that after a whole lot of infighting from his community, because apparently he wasn't hard enough on the atheists, I guess. So I talked to him through Skype. Do you know what his name on Skype is?
What?
Golden Crocoduck. And I checked. He actually won it.
Let's see. Okay.
And now
right, so
he's no longer a young Earth creationist, and he could not even be a Christian anymore. So
I do know this guy. I have seen one video of his.
You do?
Yes, Professor Dave did a like a live form response to him. I've seen one of his videos. I think he's like a Muslim apologist. But yeah, otherwise, aside from that one Professor Dave video, I don't really know anything about him. So yeah, I am lucid. Yeah,
the guy who we're still waiting to get on this channel, TTOR. He was very upset this week.
Oh, why? What happened to him?
Sir Sick did a response video to one of his videos, and basically didn't engage with any of the arguments, just made fun of him for the entire video, and that got him really upset.
Well, I'll be honest, like, TTOR seems fairly, he seems, pretty genuine. Like, clearly he doesn't know what he's talking about in his videos, but he at least seems like he cares. And so, like,
in this video, Jackson, he said that Brett Keane started the atheist movement on YouTube. Not kidding.
Sure he did. Of course. The atheist movement on YouTube, we're going back a little bit for a moment. The YouTube atheist movement has had kind of a storied history. I am. It really. I don't even know if I would say. Okay, hold on. Let me back up a second. Okay, so when people first got on YouTube, right? You couldn't upload videos longer than what, like 10 minutes, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then gradually eventually that limit got lifted, and so people could start putting in long form videos. And so one of the very earliest internet atheist YouTube channels was The Amazing Atheist. The Amazing Atheist, TJ Kirk. So he was one of the very first ones. You had Matt Dillahunty's show. I'm blanking on all the names right now. His call-in show.
The Atheist Experience.
The Atheist Experience. There you go. Sorry, good lord. You had Aaron Raw. You had Bionic Dance.
That's a throwback.
Arn's earliest videos are all 10 minutes or around 10 minutes. His whole phylogeny.
Falsehoods of creationism.
Foundational falsehoods of creationism. The whole playlist is just 10 minutes. And it's on Raw talking as fast as he can to cram everything in those. So there's someone who made a playlist and put all these who put all these videos in one video.
Mm-hmm.
When you're halfway through, you're exhausted just listening to Arn Ra talking.
He's going fast.
Yes,
so fast. So then of course he eventually later put all those videos. He expanded on each of the scripts, put them into a book. I have that book. It's pretty good. It's a good little overview of like the arguments for evolution and stuff. So, it's pretty good. But yeah, he's talking so fast. So yeah, TJ Kirk, Atheist Experience, Arn Ra, Dark Matter 2525, Bionic Dance. These are kind of the really early, and I've actually met Kate in person who does Bionic Dance. We met at Faithless Forum in 2019. That was actually where I got to meet a lot of atheists at that.
Kate Farr, the person who came up with the term epistivist for Arn.
Okay.
Arn said, I need a word for someone who doesn't have faith. And then Kate Farr came up with epistivist, which is now, you can actually Google it on the internet.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yes. And then Arn's son made a symbol for it, which is a triangle and the 3 dots. And he called it a Zapdos because why wouldn't you? And so.
But yeah, so then there were some others. There were a few other people. There's an early Dark Matter 2525 video where all the internet atheists like get killed and go to heaven. And I don't recognize like any of those other people because they all just kind of went whoosh in the few years since that.
TJ Kirk became famous as, I think, the opposite of Ray Comfort. Because Ray Comfort said it was, fit for the mouth. Whereas TJ Kirk tried to swallow a banana too, but anally. On YouTube.
I vaguely remember that. You're pulling out some silhouettes from my memory, Peter, when you say stuff like that. But anyway, continuing forward, you have these people who are like from the mid 2000s, like mid 2000s to around like 2010. So you have kind of the early atheist movement, and then around the mid 2010s, you got a big shift. In the atheist movement, you started getting more people like Armored Skeptic, Sargon of Akkad, and you started having these people who, Dave Rubin, I think was another one, like who had these sort of like aesthetic of like the skeptic, but they switched. It became not about religion anymore, about fighting apologists. It became about fighting feminists and SJWs. And so they made that huge switch, and then a number of them kind of jumped ship to really just being right-wing commentators. I mean, literally, that's what Dave Rubin did. He just went to being a right-wing commentator. Sargon of Akkad was like carrying water for far-right extremists at one point. I don't know if I have no idea what
he famously ruined the far-right party in the UK.
That's right, he did. Mm-hmm.
Single-handedly.
UKIP.
Yeah, he ruined
Yep.
UKIP.
And so they kind of switched, and you had a little bit later, you had a different kind of movement like that, where you also had skeptics who made their own like anti-woke group. They called themselves like the intellectual dark web. That was like Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, what the Weinsteins or Weinsteins, sorry. They had their own group, and I think again that kind of broke off because the Weinsteins are also insane. They're doing their own like anti-vax, anti-academia stuff.
Yeah.
Harris is still just kind of doing his political show, talking about philosophy stuff. So I still see him around every so often doing interviews and stuff. Peterson his brain is melted. I don't even know what's going on in there anymore. Like Richard Dawkins is also kind of
Chaos.
Yes.
Yeah, Dawkins is also kind of like
Dawkins didn't do himself a favor by going on Twitter.
Yeah, the whole he became like all anti-trans and all that sort of stuff,
Mhm.
which was
That
weird.
too.
He actually he published a book recently, The Genetic Book of the Dead, which is fine. It's a fine book. But otherwise, like, it's kind of sad that a lot of the older people I looked up to, not all of them, but a lot of them who I looked up to from like the early days of YouTube atheism kind of went either right wing or just became insane. And so fortunately Jordan Peterson was after I was old enough to be like, hold on, this is all bullcrap, but some of them like Armored Skeptic, like TJ Kirk, these guys all kind of fell into that trap. And, there was a big fight about like, are you a dirty SJW or are you an enlightened skeptic? And now no one really cares about that because all the people who from those days, well, I think there's a few reasons for that. One of those reasons is it turned out the right wing became insane. The right wing political party in America became just absolutely bonkers. So the anti woke stuff got kind of adapted by them and shuffled into a whole bunch of other crazy conspiracies like climate change denialism and and election denialism and much later
Okay.
Do what?
Someone in the live chat put a very funny comment on it.
Oh, for Peterson, someone put Kermit in the microwave too long. Yeah, it does sound like that. Yeah, and so like you kind of the people who were like anti woke either jumped off the train, like Sargon of Akkad, or not Sargon, sorry, Thunderfoot. Thunderfoot, for instance, like saw where it was headed and he jumped ship, which good on him, very smart. But the ones who didn't jump ship got wrapped up into like right wing conspiracy, conservatism, and it's
still reminds me of one of the things that Trump said recently when it comes to getting alternative ways to create energy. If you put up windmills, it will kill the wind. As someone who's from the Netherlands, a country famous for what were we famous for, Neslig? Wasn't it something to do with wind?
Tall people.
Wind, wasn't it something to do with wind and windmills? I mean, at less than a 5-minute drive
tulips.
from my house.
Tulips. Aren't you guys famous for tulips?
There's there's a windmill that has my mother's name, because it was owned by their family over time.
Oh, okay.
So,
although we stole the tulips from Turkey, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe I believe they do came from Turkey.
Gotcha. It's
So Jackson, are you familiar with the YouTube channel Innuendo Studios?
Yeah, I watch this stuff every so often.
Yeah. Like there's one video called "How to Radicalize a Normie."
Yeah, that was the one that got a lot of traction.
Yeah. Like there, he describes how like the alt-right like infiltrates like specific communities. Like he specifically names the gaming community. But I
Yeah,
also think it
Gamergate,
apply.
big one.
Yeah, but I also think it applies to the like you mentioned about the 80s community and how many also like were wrapped up into this whole alt-right stuff. I
Hmm.
think that this also applies to the 80s community as well. Like
Oh,
there was like a
100%.
big overlap between like Gamergate and how some of the 80s community like jumped on the anti-feminist bandwagon basically. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember because it was like, I know I'm gonna you're both gonna go like, oh, he's so young. I remember back in high school, late high school, so like 2015 and into 2016, when that suddenly was becoming so prominent. When you had Armored Skeptic and Teal Deer and Sargon of Akkad and T.J. Kirk and all these big atheist YouTube channels. Well, Teal Deer wasn't really an atheist YouTube channel, but he jumped on the like he was one of the smaller anti-feminist content creators. But these guys were pumping out woke anti-feminist it wasn't really woke content yet. That phrase wasn't really popularized yet, but anti-feminist content, because woke would be popularized a bit later. And so today,
Yeah,
though,
back then it was SJW, I believe.
SJW, yeah,
That
exactly.
was the main buzzword back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're either a skeptic or you're a dirty SJW. Those are the only options. And if
Mhm.
you were, sadly, I was very, one of the things that really tipped me off early on to like, oh, this movement seems real bad, was it attacked PZ. They attacked PZ for just being like, hey, maybe we should treat women, the same as we treat men.
Mhm.
Um, and he got attacked by Armored Skeptic for that. And I remember watching that video at the time thinking like, I generally agree with Armored Skeptic, but like, what is going on? Like this PZ is a brilliant biologist, and I had been watching his debates for years at that point, so I was aware of him and all this. And so it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. So that they I think Armored Skeptic also called like Aaron Ra like an SJW and Matt Dillahunty just for
Mhm.
being
Yeah.
like, maybe we
Yeah.
shouldn't discriminate against women. And what's funny is they the alt right really got popular among a lot of those anti SJW YouTube channels, because they started going right. They started kind of moving right. They would take small stories, like someone in a nothing magazine, or someone would publish like a blog post on the internet that was like, I don't know, refrigerators are sexist or something like that, something stupid like that. And they'd read that article and they, to their hundreds of thousands of followers, and be like, women are trying to, fight us. They're trying to, like attack men and destroy men culture and whatever else. Which again, another thing that I didn't mention earlier, the manosphere stuff, the red pill, that also came out of that sort of area, the alt right sort of stuff, where you have like Andrew Tate and those sorts of guys who are also ostensibly just right wing figures, but they also have, but it's not just political for them. They also have this flair of like, you have to have a certain lifestyle, right? Because Peterson also made that fairly popular with his first, or I don't know if it was his first book, with his very popular book, 12 Rules for Life, which is like, here's a set of rules you need to live by, kind of redefining um, how people should live in this like post-Christian world, essentially, because we're not really following the Ten Commandments anymore. So, but we have to have some means by which we can organize our life around. So here's these rules. Then you have Andrew
It's,
Tate.
it's, it's a bit it's like puritanical without the religion, basically, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah, it's like
it's
a
a very
secular religion.
a very strict, it's a secular version of puritanicalism. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so all these movements are all these movements kind of feed into each other. They're all on the right, whether it's alt right, which just kind of became like far right politics later. The red pill movement, the anti SJW stuff, the Gamergate stuff. These are all these fed into like QAnon and the far right, and now I would almost argue there isn't really much of an atheist community anymore in some sense. It's like it's not there in the sense that it used to be. And if you watch, for instance, like I'm starting to get a little concerned watching, for instance, Alex O'Connor, who again is an atheist, and he puts out a lot of content that I like and appreciate, but it also kind of seems like he might be moving towards that same sort of totalizing. Um, Here's how you can live your life within like a secular sort of way in that also pulls in with some right wing stuff. At least it's kind of seeming that way. Um, so I don't know. I could be wrong in that, but based on some conversations I've seen him have recently, like with Destiny, for instance, I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah, I've seen parts of that. Maybe not the entire conversation yet.
Yeah,
But
a little concerning.
I wouldn't say there's no atheist community anymore, but it's gotten so big that you now have several atheist communities that kind of overlap. So
I think it's fair to say there's a community of atheists, but it doesn't feel as unified as it used to, if that makes any sense. It doesn't
Like,
feel
like they aren't like talking to each other anymore and like communicating. Like they are like different islands almost.
Right, exactly.
It's fractured basically. Yeah.
some of them do, and I still think that's a shame, because we should be at least helping each other out and connecting people to each other so we could make better content. At least that's been my thing from the moment that I joined, and I'm still sticking to that.
Sure, and that's fair. And I think there are some people who are still contributing to this, but it doesn't seem to me that it's like Nestle said, it doesn't seem to me that it's as like monolithic as it used to be. Like it
No.
used to be, you would have like crosstalk among all these different channels. When it was
What did we have before? Like we had Skepticon, right, or something like that before.
having Skepticon,
Like,
the
what was the last time when all of these famous YouTubers
3 years
came
ago.
together?
3 years ago is when we had the second Faithless Forum, hosted by Thomas Westbrook, who runs the channel Holy Kool-Aid. Does he make videos still, or does he still do stuff? I don't even know. I haven't.
I never heard of him recently. Never seen him recently. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's no community building, I guess you might say. There's like Paulogias out here. You have like, Vice Rhino. You have Aaron Raw. You still have Matt Dillahunty, who, does the line. And there is still interface between them, right? Sometimes you'll have like Paulogia on there. Sometimes you'll have Erica. You'll have Aaron Raw, etc. But it really just seems to me that it's not as big as it used to be. And also, I would say a lot of the people who did atheist content are maybe not doing atheist content now, or at least they don't see what they're doing as atheist content. Like me, for instance, I watched a lot of atheist content. I don't produce atheist content. I produce science communication content, right? I'm a science educator. I'm not an atheist first, right? And so that might also be part of it.
And the creationists might say, "Oh, what's the difference?"
That's fair.
Yeah.
But like maybe also part of it is people who are atheists aren't defining themselves as atheists. So while there might be a lot of atheists in the science communication community, right? We're not defining ourselves as atheists. We're not being defined by that label. So that's part of it. Anyway, we've talked way long enough. So let's get to the video. Let's see what this video has in store for us.
Oh, goody. Well, let's see. Cue dramatic music.
Right.
Around 150 years ago, The British naturalist Charles Darwin proposed a theoretical idea he had arrived at, based on certain observations he had made on his travels. The theory of evolution.
Dun dun dun.
Essentially, this theory consisted of various scenarios, assumptions, and guesswork that Darwin had conjured up in his own imagination.
Okay.
According to his
Pause.
evolutionary scenario,
Okay, pause. That
Poisoning the well?
Yeah, massive poisoning the well right off the bat. Massive poisoning the well. Like, read Origin of Species, guys. Just read it. It's a good book. I mean, you know, it's a decently sized book. It's not as big as Descent of Man. Descent of Man is enormous, but like Origin of Species is fine size. If you read it, the first chapter, each chapter is really largely observations, right? It's largely observations and evidence that Darwin has accumulated over like what 20 years or so, something like that.
He wasn't wasting his time with studying barnacles.
Yeah, he got off his trip on the Beagle was from, when was it? Was that 1821 to 25? Hold on. Voyage of the Beagle. I'm curious. I need to. Sorry, 1831 to 36. Okay, so he's on the Beagle from 1831 to 1836, and then Origin of Species comes out in 1859. So in those, you know, in the interim, those like 20 years, Darwin is writing books on geology, on the geology of South America. He wrote a book on coral reefs. He actually figured out how coral reefs form, and we still use the bones of that idea today to explain coral reef formation. He wrote a couple books on barnacles, and so what he was doing with all of that was basically preparing. He was like testing the waters for releasing this idea on evolution. And so when you read the book, do I have it over here? Oh, yes, I do. Haha, I'm going to grab it off the shelf. It's the great thing about having a bookshelf right next to your computer. So the first chapter is on artificial selection. So he talks about how we humans have shaped organisms into a variety of different shapes in a very short time period, geologically speaking. Also worth reminding that by the time Darwin was writing, pretty much every working scientist accepted that the Earth was millions of years old. So, nobody was like a young Earth creationist by this point, or at least not really in the scientific community anymore, pretty much everybody was old Earth, because Lyell had written these arguments in like the early 1800s. Erica recently did a video on a guy, and she kind of elucidates all of the like the history of geology and stuff like that. It's pretty good, worth a watch. Of course, everything on Erica's channel is worth a watch, so just go watch it. So anyway, so first chapter is he talks about how we humans have taken organisms and we've crafted them over generations for our own purposes, whether that's pigeons or dogs or cows or or corn or whatever. Second chapter is variation under nature. So he talks about variation within a population, which he really didn't know much about, but the idea was organisms, or when they give birth to offspring, the offspring are slightly different, right? And then chapter 3 is the struggle for existence. So organisms compete with each other. So you have these ideas of variation, inheritance, and then struggle for existence, which gives rise to the concept of natural selection. So the environment is placing the selection on individuals who have variations, and those individuals with variations beneficial to their survival are the ones that survive. Okay, so pretty easy. Laws of variation. That's when he talks about like vestigial structures and adaptations. Chapter 6 was about difficulties on the theory. That's the one where you get the I quote that creations of the quote mine. It talks about instincts, hybridization, the geological record, on the geological succession of organic beings. So in Darwin's day, we didn't know, like, the concept of using radioactive molecules to date the layers of rock was not known yet. So what he did know, based on like William Smith and other guys in years prior, was that there are like you have fish in the lowest layers, then you have all these big reptiles in the middle layers, then you have mammals in the highest layers. What's up with that? And of course, you know why. Now it's evolution. Then geographical distribution, so biogeography, why are organisms found in particular places? Then embryology and this is vestigial structures. He mentions the concept earlier, but this is where he really gets into it and how it's evidence for evolution, as well as like why is classification in a nested hierarchy. So I wouldn't say any of that's like assumptions. It seems to me that those are.
I have to share at least one thing. So I
Okay.
every once in a while I still watch Kent Hovind on his channel, and he apparently, because
You have my pity.
yes, so less and less people want to debate him. So what he does now is he'll have an open mic stream.
Yes.
And during one of the latest open mic streams, he'd said something that resulted in me cleaning my entire computer, several monitors, because I spit my coffee all over the room laughing. Do you know why in the bottom layers we only find marine fossils, Jackson?
Why is that?
They were the first to drown.
Uh-huh.
That makes sense.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Totally.
Yes, sea creatures drown very fast. Yes.
Yes, they were the first to drown in the flood. The creatures.
That's kind of bananas.
Yes. I thought it was brilliant for people who still want to debate him to just ask him that question. How come they drowned?
So you think sea creatures drowned? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like in SpongeBob, like when they go into the Blue Lagoon.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in SpongeBob. Well, he does like SpongeBob. That's why he's always using the little
Aha! It all makes
Yes.
sense now.
Yes.
Yes.
He likes
Now
to
we
hit
know
him with-
where he got this inspiration from.
He likes
yeah.
to hit SpongeBob with a hammer for some reason.
Yep. All right, we can keep going.
He supposed that inanimate substances had combined as the result of chance and given rise to the first living cell. And
No,
according
he
to
sure
the myth of
didn't, but okay.
evolution, which was supported by no scientific findings whatsoever, this
Okay.
single-celled organism slowly transformed itself over generations into other forms of life, again, as the result of various alleged and coincidental
pause.
changes.
Okay, so it says imaginary conjectural illustrations by evolutionists. Okay. What you have to remember again is that what you're seeing is a phylogenetic tree, which Darwin is credited with, doodling a phylogenetic tree is the one where he writes, I think, right next to it. But the concept that underlies the phylogenetic tree is hierarchical distribution, right? And that concept, as applicable to organisms, was developed by a creationist. That'd be Carolus Linnaeus. Linnaeus was a species fixity proponent. So basically, he thought that one species could not change into another. At least he did. I think he became like less sure of the idea later in life, if I remember correctly. But for most of his life, he was like, yeah, species fixity is like, is a fact, basically. So the idea is that God created each species, but why in a nested hierarchy? So why would he have like humans and chimps together, and then, their next closest relative is the gorilla, next closest relative is the orangutan, then the gibbon, and so on and so on. Linnaeus was like, humans are definitely apes. We definitely are in the same group as the other apes. Why would this be the case? So he had no reason, no explanation for why all of life is in this nested hierarchy. Of course, it took Darwin to come along 100 years later and say, here's why, here's the reason for that. It's that populations divide. They undergo natural selection in response to different environmental conditions, and that is what causes different species to arise. So, or that's one of the mechanisms by which species can arise. There's also sexual selection. There's genetic drift can also result in new species and so on and so on. But it's the basic gist. So.
In other words, it supposedly evolved. According to the erroneous concept of evolution, all forms of life on Earth, from viruses to human beings, came to be as a result of this fictitious process. These claims of Darwin's were, of course, based on no scientific evidence or findings.
Okay, pause again. Sorry,
I just wanted to say I love it how the human face evolved first, according to that animation.
Yeah,
right.
It's almost like AI. Yes, before AI was invented.
Yes.
Right. It is funny with those sorts of little like animations. Then they say based on no evidence. Like the evidence is the fossils that you're basing that animation on. Like that's the evidence right there. That's some evidence for it. So when they say there's no evidence that this happened, here's all the transitional fossils you said didn't exist. But okay. Yeah.
But there is no argument here. It's just like evolution is stupid, evolution is stupid, evolution is stupid. It's over and over again. It's just the same. It's the same.
You're right.
Thing over and over again.
You're right. We haven't even encountered an argument yet. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing there yet. I hope we at least get something besides.
You have to keep in mind, this guy started out using Hovind slides, which he stole for some reason. And so he can be smarter than Hovind, but he can be dumber.
It's a low bar.
Yeah.
However, since the scientific knowledge and technological means of the time were at a very primitive level, the extent to which Darwin's claims were nonsensical and unrealistic was not yet fully clear.
Okay, pause. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. So when Darwin published Origin of Species, the idea of the nested hierarchy of life being reflective of universal common ancestry, that became consensus pretty much almost immediately. It was within his lifetime that most other biologists agreed with that. Natural selection, on the other hand, there was quite a bit of debate over whether or not natural selection was the primary mechanism of evolution or one of the primary mechanisms. That debate would last until way after Darwin died, into the 1930s, before it really the importance of natural selection was finally hammered home in evolutionary biology. But like the fact that organisms share common ancestry, everyone, as soon as Darwin published this, everyone was like, yeah, that makes sense. We agree with this. So him just saying this, so the narrator being like, everyone not realizing how stupid Darwin's ideas were, like, that's just wrong. That's just factually inaccurate. So anyway.
It was in such a climate as this that Darwin's scenarios received immediate general acceptance from certain circles.
Okay, then what's the argument?
Materialist circles in particular attached themselves blindly to the theory of evolution, since it rejected the fact of creation. They even declared that it offered a scientific basis for their own atheistic and materialistic worldview.
No, actually.
From Darwin's day to this, they have provided...
Like, I recognize these a few clips. I don't know if you've also seen it. Like, it was like in a very old... I forgot this. Like,
are these like Nova documentary clips?
Yeah, Nova. Yeah. It's from you have to. It was very well made, actually. Like, you have these actors acting like Darwin and also Richard Owen. Like, you saw a few clips showing Richard Owen, which is ironic because Richard Owen was like one of the main critics against Darwin. Like, while he was saying, like, oh yeah, everybody accepted Darwin, but while showing an actor reenacting Richard Owen at the same time, it's completely backwards.
Well, you're expecting Harun Yahya to know anything about history, and that's the first problem. So
My bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
you're also expecting creationists letting facts get in the way of basically saying what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this idea that like everybody just became an atheist after Origin of Species was written is nonsense. Or that atheists were like super happy. I mean, there had been atheists for a very long time before this. I mean, you can talk about Dawkins' quote like, "Oh, it became intellectually fulfilling to be an atheist," or whatever. Like, I don't care. I really don't care. But a lot of Christians also immediately accepted evolution because it made the best sense of the data. I mean, you can look at American biologists who were mostly Christian. You can look at European biologists who were mostly Christian. The group that opposed, and funny enough, again, history is going to play a part here. One of the groups that opposed evolution, specifically natural selection, was the communists. It was the Lysenkoists. They opposed natural selection. They opposed the concept of the gene, as they called it, like bourgeoisie science. So this idea that like the atheists were the ones who were, or everyone was becoming atheist because of evolution, like that's just wrong. That's just not true. There's no historical backing for any of these claims. Theodosius Dobzhansky was one of the biggest or most well-known evolutionary biologists of the 20th century. Was a Greek Orthodox. Like, these ideas are ridiculous. There's just no historical background. Totally ahistorical. So, all right, we can keep going.
All forms of support in order to keep the theory alive.
Hey, cool.
They have conducted study after study and experiment after experiment in the hopes of finding some evidence that might support evolution.
Okay.
Yet every study they have conducted and every evidence they have obtained so far has turned out to be refuting evolution rather than confirming it.
Okay, pause for a
Modern
moment.
science.
So this narrative is basically concluding that despite the fact that over 99% of Earth and life scientists accept evolution, he's claiming that every single paper written about evolution has refuted evolution by the people who claim to support evolution. So what's the explanation then? I guess just massive conspiracy? I suppose they all know they're lying? I guess.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
It must be.
That's it.
Yeah.
Also, Jackson, you shouldn't expect consistency when creationists are making claims. That's just silly.
That's true. They can't even get their own lore right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And technology, which have made increasingly rapid advances since the beginning of the 20th century, have revealed that there is no scientific basis at all to the theory of evolution. All branches of science concerned with the subject, microbiology, biomathematics, cell biology, biochemistry, genetics, anatomy, physiology, anthropology, and paleontology have produced countless proofs demolishing the theory of evolution.
Countless proofs. Just one. We want just one. Just give us one.
They can't give you just one because it would interfere with the drama of the music, Jackson. Come on.
Let's
get with it.
It's the Nestle. Have you seen that Family Guy bit with the the interrupting trumpet? It's like I think it's a scene from I think it's The Godfather, and they're like talking at the table, and there's like a trumpet in the background. It's really loud. It's getting progressively louder, and so the guys are like having to yell over it to talk to each other. But that's kind of what the music is like.
I haven't seen that clip.
Hold on, I'll find it and I'll put it in the side chat.
All right. Oh, I think I also found it on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh. Let's see. Family Guy. What is it called? Trumpet. Here we go. There it is. Distracting trumpet. That's what it was. Okay, I'll post it here in our side chat. It's like I said, we may need to call in our friends from Yonkers. There you go. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, all right, keep going. Keep going.
But the most important finding to demolish the claim of the theory of evolution has been the fossil record.
Okay. Such as? What specifically?
Because countless fossils offer
here we
inescapable
go.
proof that living species on Earth have never
Here we go.
undergone the slightest change and
Okay,
did
pause.
not develop
How-
into one another.
All right, so this is the heart
Yes.
of the creationist of the Harun Yahya argument, or the Harun Yahya tactic, as we have called it in previous videos. The heart of this claim is that you compare two organisms, one of which, so you have a fossil, and then the Harun Yahya gives the age of the fossil, and then you show a picture of a fishing lure. A modern organism, and you compare those two right next to each other.
Oh, you were
And
correct
the
the first
idea
time,
is-
Jackson. You were correct the first time.
Oh, okay, sorry. And then you compare the modern organism with the fossil organism, and the idea is they look similar enough that you can just conclude they're the same thing without doing any morphological analysis
Yes.
whatsoever.
Mhm.
Yes, that like here there are just shrimp and fish. That like all shrimp are the same and all fish are the same. Like there's
Right.
no
There aren't hundreds of species of shrimp alive today, that or thousands of species of fish alive today. It's just a general fish.
fish kind. The fish kind.
The
Yes,
fish
the
kind, exactly. Right. So we did a video on this topic like God, 4 years ago, something like that. We've been doing this so long. I every time I remind myself that this channel has been around for 8 years, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what have I been doing? So yeah. So basically, when we did a video on this topic way back, we pointed out how there's no morphological analysis involved. Like, take the picture that the previous picture of the turtle that was like 50 million years old. Is that a turtle genus or species that's still around today? No, it isn't. It's an extinct genus and species. What about this guy? Is this fish species still around today? I don't even know what species that is or genus, because it just says shrimp and fish. So we have no idea whether or not either of those is still around. I don't know. And if the species and genus aren't around today, doesn't that mean evolution has occurred? That's the logical correlate of that argument, right? If the species is still around today, no evolution has occurred. If the species isn't around today, evolution, has occurred. I think that's kind of it, right? I don't know. Okay, we can keep going. Pause. Okay, so this one's painful, actually. This is actually a painfully stupid argument. It says a 242 million year old lizard. That is a Pachypleurosaurus.
Oh, God.
That would be this fossil right here. Here, I'll post it in the side chat. So this is a Pachypleurosaur, which is not only not a lizard, it's not in Lepidosauria, so it's not even anywhere closely related to lizards. It is a reptile in the sense that it has scales, right, and is a member of Sauroptera. But that's kind of it.
Oh, so I think Sauropterygia, right?
Yeah, it is a member Sauropsida is what I meant to say. So it is a member
Sauropsida.
Yeah, it is a reptile in merely the sense that it is a member of the clade Sauropsida, which includes birds, crocodilians, turtles, and lizards and snakes. It is indeed, as Neslick said, a member of the extinct clade Sauropterygia, which is actually, according to, let's see, what does Wikipedia say? Let's see, there's a 2013 paper. So
there's a debate on there's a debate on where Sauropterygia belongs.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So there is a debate on where Sauropterygia falls because, in part, all of the members are extinct, so no DNA, sadly. A 2022 paper found that and again, this is an active area of research, that Sauropterygia is more closely related to archosaurs than either to turtles or to lizards. So
if that hypothesis is correct, then this is closer to crocodiles and birds than it is to lizards. Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Of course, there is still a debate on where exactly the Sauropterygia belongs. Like it's not settled yet. But even then, like aside from that controversy, this is more closely related to like the plesiosaurs.
Yes.
That we do know of. Yeah, that is something that we are fairly certain about. That this is actually more similar to the plesiosaurs and the pliosaurs, which themselves are also plesiosaurs.
Right. Yeah. So there are some another hypothesis for Sauropterygia is that they're really close to the turtles. They're like sister to, they're part of a group called like the Pantestudines. That could be true, or maybe they're more closely related to archosaurs. Either way, they are not anywhere close to the lizards. So this is a painfully stupid picture right here.
Like I think the best analogy you can like it's difficult to bring up a modern example. It's like I think it's like mistaking an anteater from South America with the pangolin.
Yeah,
but maybe even worse actually. Like like how closely related are pangolins to the anteaters from South America? Like only.
They're more closely related to each other, than this guy is to lizards. So it's it's pretty bad.
Yes.
It's pretty bad. Yeah. So anyway, okay, we can keep going. I don't even know if that's a heron. I have no idea what that is.
When the fossil record is examined, living things today are seen to...
Wait. I do know what that is. That's a Nidea. That is a Nidea from the Green River Formation, because that's a very popular, which is in the order that contains, and it's also in the family that contains herring, but Nidea is not a living herring. There are no herring alive today that are in the genus Nidea. There aren't any. They're all gone. They're all extinct. So Clupeidae contains herrings, but the genus Nidea is not around anymore. They're just gone. So it's a member of the freshwater herrings, quote, quote. So again, just saying it's a herring doesn't mean anything. It doesn't tell us anything about it. So, okay, yeah, we keep going.
Be exactly the same as they were hundreds of millions of years ago. In other words, they never underwent evolution.
That's a skimmer, so that is one particular species. Again, the same thing, no analysis
Living creatures,
being done.
even in the very earliest periods, had exactly the same perfect and superior characteristics as their counterparts do today.
What genus? What species? We have no idea what these things are.
They emerge suddenly onto the world stage with all their complex structures fully present.
Pause. That is, I think that's Onychonicterus. It's either Onychonicterus or Hold on. Nycteris. Is that Onica Nycteris?
Also, that's a very strange image because it seems like it is both tucking in its arms and spreading out
It does.
a second
yeah.
pair of
What is going on here? What's happening with this picture? What's going on?
Yeah. It has four sets of arms. Like 2 of them are tucked in and 2 of them are spread out. Like it's.
Yeah, this picture is bonkers. Hold on. Okay, Peter, is it possible? I found the original image. Is it possible for you to show my screen, Peter? Or sorry, hold on. I have an idea, Peter. I'm gonna send you a thing. Can you put it up on screen, please?
Let's see.
Can you put that up on screen, please?
I should be able to do that.
Despite the image that like throws me off a bit, like 50 million years old sounds like on the.
It is Icaro-Nycteris. Yeah, it's Icaro-Nycteris. Yes. So I found the original picture, and you will be not surprised to know that this is like there's a bat. There are bat wings like overlaid on this Icaro-Nycteris fossil. Why, you ask? No idea. Not really sure.
Oh, like the wings are just added, like yes, artificially added.
The wings are artificially added here. Not really sure why they're added because you're right. His wings are curled up, so that in the middle where his arms are folded up, that's the original. The extra set of and his legs too are folded up. His legs right there in the middle.
Also I see. Up. Yeah, also folded up. Yeah.
So somebody added an extra, like the wings, onto this fossil where he already has. There, Peter's got it. Okay, so
that's the original. Yeah,
that's the original. So his legs are right here in the middle, folded up, just like his arms are folded up. But the picture has the whole extra wing attached to it.
It's got
I guess somebody
4 arms and 4 legs.
Correct.
Yeah. I guess somebody looked at this and said like, oh, this is supposed to be a bat, but I don't see its wings nor its legs. Let me add those to the fossil. Maybe they are missing from the fossil, so let me just add some wings and legs. Of course, they are there. They are just tucked up.
Right. So, for instance, there are characteristics that Icaro-Nycteris has that modern bats don't have. It has a tail that's much longer, is not connected to the hind legs with a skin membrane. The first wing finger bore a claw, and the body was more flexible. Has a full set of relatively unspecialized teeth, similar to shrews. So it sounds to me like it, had a bunch of characteristics that modern bats don't have. So
yeah.
Brian Stevens has a good question. If there have been no changes, where are the really big lizards?
You see, those are the politicians.
I think no. I think they all moved to the Congo, and call themselves Mkeli Mbembe.
Oh right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we have a few in Scotland too. And we're in Canada too, I think.
Oh, the Ogopogo?
Yeah, the Ogopogo. There are a few more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So wacky stuff.
Yes. Continue.
Yes, sir.
This demonstrates the following irrefutable truth. Living things did not come into being through the imaginary processes of the theory of evolution,
Animals
but were created in a single moment.
I like that just showing us.
Did you see
animals.
The music got so loud it scared away the birds on screen? just wanted to point that out.
True.
Damn, it's loud.
Yeah. argument here. It's just animals pretty.
Yeah,
The fact of creation
you
has
also write
once
about
again
the Family Guy clip. Like I briefly watched the clip a few minutes ago, and yeah, it's exactly the same. The music just gets so loud, it's obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, the Nidia, not a modern herring, so whatever.
been revealed in the traces of flawless living things left over from long ago. In this film,
Again,
you will
what
obtain
species?
a closer
What genus?
acquaintance with various fossils.
The flawless living things that they had to add on wings and legs to. That's how flawless.
Yeah.
Dating back.
This is wrong. I believe that's incorrect. I don't think starfish go back 500 million years. Because the Cambrian, if I remember, I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure there weren't starfish in the Cambrian. Am I wrong? No, I'm correct. So starfish, asteroidea don't come around until the Ordovician. So yeah, so he's wrong on that one. So that's like 480 million years ago or so. Because the first echinoderms are in the Cambrian, but the first echinoderms, as we talked about in the ragworm's tail, were actually bilaterally symmetric and asymmetric. Because if you look at modern echinoderms, their juveniles, the larvae, are also bilaterally symmetric because they are bilaterians by ancestry. So they start out bilaterally symmetric, and then they become pentaradial or pentameral. So the date's just wrong on this one. It's not a 500 million year old starfish. So womp womp.
Not another good one from Brian Stevens. Loud music makes it harder to use critical thinking or any kind of thinking.
Yep.
Millions of years, and can witness how they silently cry out to blind eyes and deaf ears. We are here.
Pause.
We did not.
So when we did our video on the evolution of seahorses with Dapper, I think we actually showed that fossil. Again, not a modern seahorse. It's not a modern seahorse. I think it's a pipefish. It's some kind of pipefish.
It's straighter than seahorses.
Yeah. So again, just wrong, just incorrect fundamentally. Hippocampus. Let's see. Seahorses. Seahorses so the genus Hippocampus has only been around for 23 million years. So this predates seahorses. So that picture, I've seen that picture before. Let me see if I can find the name of it. So seahorse fossil. I've seen that picture. Hold on. Is that it? I think this is it. This says hippocampus. No, that's not it. That fossil's too curved. Is it this one? No, I don't think it's that one. I'm trying to find this picture. It's kind of hard. Or maybe pipefish fossil, maybe? Pipefish fossil, question mark? I'm trying to find it.
This is why they don't tell you the actual name of this species, because it's so difficult to look up. Most people won't even bother.
Yeah, I don't even know. I can't even find it. If someone can find it, that'd be great, but I can't find this fossil. But yeah, as Neslick said, that's precisely why they do this. They don't want you to be able to look up the organisms they're talking about, because if you do, you might find out that they're lying to you. So, yep, I don't know. I have no idea what it is. So, whatever. All right, we can keep going.
come into existence by chance, but were created. And we were exactly the same hundreds of millions of years ago.
And we're back to Animals 30.
Hold on, I found something. Can you pause for a moment?
Did you find it?
I think, I don't know. It looks similar, but maybe it's not. But can you look at this? If it is, it's very astounding because it's if I'm right, then it's a fake fossil.
No freaking way. No.
If I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but it looks very similar.
A fake fossil?
I put it in the private chat, and I also put it in the live chat just to see if anybody else can confirm what I.
Yeah, I found this. I found the same one, which is for sale for $925.
He's too curved at the top.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, the other one was straighter, and the body was more kind of like fuzzy. At least it looked like.
Okay, can you go back for maybe just out of curiosity, Peter? Can you go back a few?
I did. I saw that because
seconds?
I look, his tail is kind of curved, but the top part of his head is a little too.
Maybe you have to orient the image a bit. Maybe then it will match. I will hold on. Maybe if I put both pictures in like an image editor and overlay them, maybe they will match like that. I mean, in the meantime, you can just continue. Like can you go back, Peter, for a few seconds, and I will see if I can try to match these images. I'm very curious if it's possible that I'm right about this.
Because see, if I tried looking it up, if you look up pipefish fossil, it doesn't come up. So if you look up seahorse fossil, I see that one, but otherwise I don't think that's the fossil he was using. So I don't know. Wait. Hold on. I might have found it. I may have found it. No. I think I found it. It says, okay. I think this is it. It says very rare fossil seahorse hippocampus. Let me do an image search. Let me do an image search. Copy image. I'm trying to see what is the origin of this image.
Oh, Peter, sorry. If it's possible to go back a few minutes, can you do that? Or maybe a few seconds, perhaps.
I'm just looking at my screen because for some stupid reason,
Peter, would you?
What happened last week?
I think this is the image.
Yeah, I was saying, for some stupid reason, what happened last week is happening again. That is that my OBS now fails to capture a screen.
It's okay. We don't have to go back. I think I found the image.
All right.
Are we still?
If I open this link, I don't get an image. I just get a New Year pixel or something.
Really?
Yeah,
it's. Hold on. Wait. So with this, that image, that's the same one, isn't it? Huh. That's so funny because I see it. Let me try something different. Can you see it with this, with the one I just put in there?
Yeah, yes. Now I see, yes.
I think that's the image. It's just flipped. It's rotated.
Yeah.
Let me
But that also looks very similar to the fake fossil I found. Maybe
I mean,
the fake fossil
it might be.
is based on this fossil. Yeah, maybe the fake fossil is based on this.
Let me get this one on screen.
So my question is, so how do we? So it says search. If I search that, it says it pulls up nothing. It doesn't pull up anything. That's
Okay.
kind of crazy.
There you go. I think
Okay, so I just searched.
that might be it, because it wasn't as crisp as the one that Neslik and I found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you search it with it says with the Google Lens, it pulls up nothing. So copy image. Can I paste? Okay. Paste image link. Let me try that. Oops. Copy image address. Let me see. Search.
Okay, I found it on Wikipedia.
You did?
No, that's a different one. Why is it telling me? Okay, no.
I can't find it on any other sites. It's literally not showing up on anything. When you look up, it said find image source, it says couldn't find web page or duplicate image. So like, I don't, is this a made up picture? Is this fake?
You know what? I have a few images. I also took a screenshot of the previous image by replaying some of the live stream back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I can compare this. And in the meantime, you can go ahead and play and continue on the video. I will just
can't find web page or duplicate. This might be this might also be fake. It's possible. Missing link. Very true.
Yeah,
there's nothing. I literally can't find anything.
I've tried 4 reverse image searchers now. Neither of them can find the picture.
Yeah.
And
so I don't think this is real.
I have one that looks for the original. If they have a picture, they look for where it first was displayed. That can't find it either. So no clue where this one came from.
Yep. So, okay, very weird. No idea what the origin of this image is. Okay. Okie dokie. Yep. So, all right.
Fossils are the remains or traces of living things that existed eons ago in the past. In the same way that some recent fossils are only thousands of years old, there are others that belong to life forms.
Wait, okay, it said 50,000-year-old bear skull. Come on. Our human species has been around for like 300,000 years. Come on. Like, are they going to be like, no, nothing can exist for longer than like, I don't know, 1,000 years? I genuinely don't know. Because like, it's probably just like a modern species of bear. Like, genuinely. The gray wolf species, Canis lupus, goes back like almost 1 million years. So I mean, like, it just very dumb. Okay. Also, frog, just generic frog. There aren't hundreds of species of frogs, but okay. Whatever.
A wolf. We had one walk past the cabin last week. That stupid thing knew exactly where my cameras are because it avoided every single one of them. I only saw it because my dog started barking at it.
Forms that existed millions, even hundreds of millions of years ago.
Perch. What species? Nobody knows. Lobster. What species? Nobody knows. Oh, pause. So this, okay, so first of all, the date for this image is like 200 million years off, because I know exactly what fossil that is. That is Mesolimulus. That is a famous fossil from the Solnhofen Formation in Germany, the same fossil from which Archaeopteryx comes. So this guy's like 250 or 260 million years old. Not 450 million years old. I would put it in the Ordovician. So this image is just way off. It's off by hundreds of millions of years. That is not a modern species of horseshoe crab or even a modern genus of horseshoe crab. So everything about this is wrong. It's obviously not the same, but whatever. Okay, who cares? Who cares?
Fossils which have survived in the Earth's strata for hundreds of millions of years,
Pause.
right down.
That's actually, wait, no, hold on. I don't know if they're making the argument. If they say like that's a velvet ore, I'm gonna laugh. I'm sorry. Keep going.
To the present day, are an indispensable source of information regarding the organisms that have lived on Earth since life first began. They provide concrete evidence as to what species existed in which periods.
Okay, gar. Okay, what species? What genus? Another random perch? No species
Fossils
or genus?
came in various shapes and sizes, from entire skeletal remains right down to microscopic traces on stones.
True. A cockroach? No species or genus. No species or genus of grasshopper. No species or genus of stonefly. We could make a drinking game out of this, but I think our livers would fail.
In order for a fossil to form, the body of a recently dead plant or animal has to be insulated from contact with the air and the external environment by being immediately covered in soil, mud, or sand. Over the months that follow, new layers of soil are laid down over the spot where the dead organism lies buried. These layers act as a special shield that protects the organic matter from external effects of air and bacteria and physical wear and tear. Ever more layers of mud and sediment are laid down, one atop the other, and within a few hundred years, the remains of the once living thing is now several meters beneath the Earth's surface or the seabed. Structures such as an animal's bones, shells, scales, and cartilage gradually begin to undergo chemical degradation. Subterranean waters begin seeping into the decaying tissues, and the minerals contained in these...
One found the seahorse photo.
Oh, is it the same one that we found, though? Because we already found it.
Yeah, if you can give North Texas Fossils a wrench, they can post the link in the chat.
Okay. All right, hold on. There we go. All right, give him a wrench.
North Texas Fossils, post the link. We'll pull it up.
Yep, you should be able to do it now. Yeah, I mean, it might be the... Well, we'll see. See if they found a... So as RJ said earlier, I just saw it. So when this video was made, by 2006, Harun was in ID mode, not YEC. So there should be no allusion to chronology. So yeah, it's the same one. We already found that site, the I'm All one. That's the one that I sent the picture to Peter to image search it. So so Harun here is going with traditional dates. He just doesn't, I guess, think that these organisms evolved in all that time. They stayed exactly the same, which is kind of interesting in my opinion. So, all right, we can keep going.
That link doesn't show a picture of a fossil for me. It just shows all kinds of stuff that are for sale.
Yeah,
it
same
shows
for
me the
me.
fossil. That's so weird. I wonder if that's an America thing.
Yeah, maybe
Because for me,
we just get
shows-
redirected. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it goes straight to the very rare fossil seahorse, the image that we were looking at earlier. But yeah, we already tried looking up that image, so appreciate it. But yeah, we still don't know. So all right, we can keep going.
Waters gradually replace the chemicals in the tissues. These materials that replace the chemicals in the tissues are the building blocks of rocks such as calcite, pyrite, silica, and iron, and are
True.
far more resistant to wear and erosion.
True.
Thus, over the course of millions of years, these minerals produce an exact stone copy of the original structure by replacing the tissues within it.
That's actually a really good explanation of fossilization. So yeah, good job.
The fossil remains exactly the same shape and size as the original organism, but it is composed of rock. In scientific terminology, the process of fossilization is known as permineralization.
True.
There are also a few other processes that can result in fossilization. One of these is carbonization. All the original elements apart from carbon disappear from the tissues that undergo the carbonization process. All that remains of the original structure is then a copy consisting entirely of carbon.
Okay. It's a graphite fossil.
By now, we have millions of fossil specimens collected from all over the world and cataloged in the museums and collectors' cabinets of various countries.
True.
All these fossil specimens reveal one very significant fact.
Fake fossil.
They're dead and you don't know if they had kids. Oh, wait, no, that's someone else.
All living things on the earth have maintained the same shape, structure, and characteristics since the moment they were first created.
Okay. And you get to show any evidence of that, but all right.
Many life forms that existed in even...
We did a video specifically on this topic, the coelacanth evolution. There are no fossil coelacanths that are in the same genus or species as the modern ones. The modern two species of coelacanth are Latimeria minatoensis and Chalumnae. There are no fossil Latimeria. There aren't. The closest extinct relative of Latimeria is a guy called Swinzia, who's a bit smaller and had a number of other morphological characters that were different, but there are no fossil Latimeria. So just saying it's a coelacanth doesn't mean anything. There were lots of coelacanths. They came in lots of different shapes and sizes. So, all right, we can
in the very earliest geological periods have come down to the present day without undergoing even the slightest change.
And there was even a coelacanth relative that basically lived like a parrotfish.
Right.
Yeah.
No genus or species of crinoid. Yep, modern crinoid. No genus or species. No genus or species of stingray. I think that one's also from the Green River, not Green River, sorry, the crap. What's
There
the
is
one in
no
Germany?
difference
The
between
mesothith.
these living things that existed hundreds of millions of years ago
No genus or
and
species.
specimens living today.
Let's pause.
For example,
technically that's not even a starfish. That is a brittle star, which is not the same group as starfish. That's Ophiuroidea, I believe.
It also doesn't look like the fossil he just showed.
But they are sister groups, right? Starfish and brittle stars, right? Or are they not?
So they're related. They're both in Asterozoa, which is the star animals. But brittle stars are a different class of echinoderms than starfish are. So if you were to say, saying that, I'm sorry, that one really upset me. That's like, I mean, it's like showing a picture of a marsupial and a placental mammal and being like, these are the same. It's like, no, they aren't. They are different.
In this case, but in this case is even worse because like, what's the last common ancestor between brittle stars and sea stars?
That's like in the Ordovician.
Early Ordovician. It's even longer ago than the common ancestor between like marsupials and
right. Oh, also, North Texas Fossil says, my friend Brad found the newest Mawsoniid coelacanth in Texas from the Woodbine Formation. That is really cool. That's pretty cool. Oh, also, Time Thing says, honestly, I'm an atheist, but never thought of myself as part of an atheist group. I do find myself becoming increasingly anti-religious as they become more politically involved. I 100% agree with you on that, Time Thing. 100%. I just read a book recently called Merchants of Doubt, which is about how conservative organizations have fought science for decades. As the religious right and the free market fundamentalist right join together, they're terrible. They're the worst. Also, Origin of Species is a very enjoyable read. I agree. It is a very enjoyable read. Also, North Texas Fossils says the matrix around the hippocampus matches the other Italian Pliocene specimens from the Marechia Formation. Also, if it's from the Pliocene, that would also put it after 26 million years, because didn't the Pliocene start 23 million years ago? Am I crazy? No, I'm an idiot. The Pliocene only started 5 million years ago. I was thinking of the Miocene, I think. So if it's from the Pliocene, then that means it can't possibly be 26 million years old. So yeah, that's crazy.
I think with some of these fossils, you probably have the same issue as that one bat fossil where they just have modified it in such a way that it's basically unrecognizable from the original. Basically, it's like I think they put some extra stuff on it to make it more pretty, basically, and that's why we cannot find it, because it's almost unrecognizable from the original image that they found. Perhaps. Yeah,
you're probably right. I mean, that was probably Nestle. That's probably their. This is like the first stages of them, finding fake or modified stuff on the internet, which led to them eventually putting fishing lures in their books. So
yeah.
So
also, if I'm not mistaken, the Mawsoniid coelacanths, they were all freshwater, right? They're like a freshwater lineage of coelacanth.
Let's see.
Yeah. The Mawsoniid.
You're probably right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
I think
Mawsoniids were native to freshwater and brackish. Yep, exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and they are also, some of them were very large. Like Mawsonia was a very large coelacanth. Yeah.
Holy crap! Yeah, he's way bigger than a person. Yeah.
And what wasn't that also a prey to the Spinosaurids?
Probably.
I think I remember seeing yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right, we can keep going.
Present-day grasshoppers are in all respects the same grasshoppers that lived 120 million years ago.
What genus?
Today's lizards are exactly the same as the lizards of 242 million years ago.
That's not even a lizard. We've already been over this. That is a pachyplerosaur.
In short, Living things are exactly the same today as they were millions of years ago in the past.
What species of crab? What genus?
Billions or here, billions or did you catch that?
Oh, did you say billions of years ago?
Yeah, the same as billions of years ago. Yeah. This is a bee.
Is that even a nautilus? I don't even know if that's a nautilus fossil.
No.
It might not be. No.
Can I ask how they got the colors on that nautilus they just showed the fossil? Because that was in full color.
I don't know. I do not know. What genus? What species? What genus? What species? Give us something. Anything, please. What genus? What species?
Also 6 million years. It's not out of the ordinary of a genus. Yeah, for a genus to survive for 6 million years.
That's true. Yeah. What genus? What species? Come on. Anything, please.
Also, a pause for a moment. Like, if I remember correctly, like we did a video on a rabbit evolution a while ago, like 5 years by now, I believe.
Yes,
Probably.
you're right. We did. Yes.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, like a rabbit, like specifically, like not the group that includes the pikas, or only the rabbits and hares. I believe they are a fairly young group, right?
I believe they are. Let me look.
Yeah.
Let's see. That would be wagon. Rabbit. I don't remember. What is it? Leporidae. Yeah. So Leporidae has only been around for 53 million years ago. So.
But did this like Leporidae also includes the pikas, right?
No,
Or
that's
not?
Lagomorpha.
Oh, so I got it wrong then. I thought I was mistaken.
So yeah, Lagomorpha.
Yeah.
The pikas, they're so cute. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Brian Stevens says there are some beautifully colored agatized fossils. That I didn't know.
True. There are. Or pyrite. Pyrite's another one where you can get pyrite infilling of fossils, and so they come out with this like beautiful kind of bronze color. It's really cool. I'd be willing to bet, though, it looks like, based on this image, that none of the modern genera go back more than 20 million years. It looks like they're all younger than 20 million years. Mm-hmm. So he said that rabbit fossil was 33 million years old, which...
That's probably extinct, yeah.
Yeah, almost certainly extinct. So,
yeah. But again, for a gene, we know of some genera that survived. Like, what was the oldest genus? I don't remember what the oldest genus is.
For which one?
That we know of. Like there's like a Limulus or no, what's the no, not Limulus.
Well, Limulus there's kind of a question because like some of its fossils may not be Limulus. There's also I'm drawing blanks now. Ginkgo's pretty old. Limulus is pretty old. Lingula is pretty old. Sorry, wait. I think you're thinking of Lingula, isn't it? Or I'm thinking of Lingula.
Yes. Like Lingula was, the brachiopods. Yeah.
Lingula is the one.
Probably not. That's probably not the same genus because,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Limulus is the horseshoe crab. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm my mistake. So yeah, that was my mistake. There, yeah. If you look at Wikipedia right now, it says Lingula goes all the way back to the Cambrian. But we looked at a paper for we looked at a paper for some video a while back. It may have even been the coelacanth video that was like Lingula. It's on the fact that like the Lingula probably doesn't go back that far because it probably had a convergent morphology with other species. So
I remember this. I remember this paper that we also cited in our stasis video, I believe.
Which one?
Video on stasis.
Oh,
I put the link to it. Like it's about stabilomorphs.
Yeah, the stabilomorph paper. Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah. Like in figure 4, you can see like several examples of like commonly called living fossils, but you see that the genera, like most of them, they are pretty young. Like for example, the famous coelacanth. It's not old at all. Like it's only how many millions years or a couple of.
It's only
10
like 6, isn't it? Yeah, 6 to 10, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nautilus,
but the oldest,
young,
but the oldest genus is Triops, which is about 200 million years old.
Didn't a paper just come out on Triops recently? That was like maybe Triops aren't as old. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. I found it. I knew I had it saved. This paper, I haven't read it yet, but I think here I'm putting it here in the. I put it in our. Here it is in our. There you go. The end of the living fossil tail. A new look at Triassic specimens assigned to the tadpole shrimp Triops and associated phylopods from the Vosges region. I don't know. So it's about fossils that have been assigned to Triops, making it the longest persisting animal in Earth history. Careful restudy of the splendidly preserved material indicate that the species can be well characterized, but represents a notostricken genus and species that cannot be assigned to the Triopsidae. This undermines the concept of it being a living fossil. The name Apudites antiquus, under which the first known specimens were described, is available and appropriate for the species. Some of the specimens of Apudites antiquus offer morphological details of a quality that ranks them among the best preserved fossil non-marine arthropods, and so on. So Triops is not actually as old as it was thought. So the paper came out just this year, I believe.
Oh yeah. Also, I quickly look it up. The region is pronounced Vosges.
So I was right, Vosges. Yeah,
Vosges. Yeah, it's almost like Vosges, but more French. The French way to pronounce.
See, my French hasn't left me just yet, so I still got it. Yeah, Vosges.
You're from Louisiana. Shouldn't it be your second language?
Listen, if you take any foreign language, you should take Spanish around here. It's going to help you a lot more.
Yeah, but isn't Louisiana supposed to be? There's supposed to be a lot of French.
We were like settled by like French Canadians or whatever, but it doesn't really help you all that much. Really doesn't help you all that much. So, I was trying to look up. So it is related. So it's like a stem. A stem like Triops cousin. Yeah. So okay.
But it's also the case that the even the genus is a bit of an arbitrary classification. Like how similar do two species have to be considered the same genus? It's also a bit of a question, of course.
Oh, Smitty makes a terrific point. Spanish is much more useful for picking up chicks who speak Spanish. Can confirm, because my fiance is of Guatemalan ancestry. So I'm sure that I could do some wooing with some Spanish. Also, Energia Obscura. You're absolutely correct. Why do we need? We don't need scientific data. We just need a pretty slideshow. You are correct.
And epic music.
Yeah.
And epic music. I want to point out just before that, North Texas Fossil said, "Show me the Cambrian bunny." You might want to look up a channel called Finding Truth. They know a lot about the Cambrian, but they might be a bit difficult to share anything about the Cambrian explosion. Right, Jackson? Didn't you debate
True.
that?
Can confirm.
One of the funniest debates I've ever seen about the Cambrian explosion.
In which,
not mentioning the Cambrian explosion during the entire debate.
yeah, yep, that was was fun and stupid.
Still one of my favorites, though.
Was it? Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm Peter. I live to impress.
It had high comedy value. Everyone in chat, what about the Cambrian? Are we talking about a Cambrian?
What about the Cambrian? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Continue?
Yeah,
Sure.
we'll do this for a couple more minutes and then we'll call it because we started a little bit late. So yeah. We'll just go a couple more minutes. No dinosaur species of trout. No dinosaur species of fern. Oh, okay, swordfish. Okay. Wait, was that it? Did we finish it?
No, we didn't. So let me check. Let me check real quick. We're 16 minutes in, and we have 46 minutes left, I think.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
But I thought because this came up, maybe that's a good split where we split off to the next show.
Yeah, we'll finish that for today. That's a good idea.
Well, it did this. Well, was this like the introduction or something?
No.
Like
This film is based on the works of Harun Yahya. So considering there are no details, basically what Harun Yahya did was looking for pretty pictures. That was his work. Not checking anything that he found, checking any data. And I think that website might be defunct. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think www.harunyahya.com is still up.
It's probably got an 8,000-year sentence too.
So. Yeah, might have.
Okay, well, fascinating. So we are, would you say, 16 minutes in?
Yes.
So okay, so I think we made some decent progress, you know.
Yes. Well, there wasn't enough data to respond to other than the pictures that you recognized, because then it would drag out for entire next year, I think, if we were going to check every single picture and try to do a reverse image search for everyone.
But you cannot find some of these even. It's so frustrating. Like they show you an image, but you cannot even fact check.
Okay,
they
but
don't give you anything.
So I think the bat fossil was a giveaway that they might not all be actual fossils. Just throwing that out there.
They have been modified to be almost unrecognizable in some cases.
Yes.
Yeah, because apparently they're fiddling with the fossils.
Yeah.
So.
But which is ironic, because when you change the fossils that way, then you would see noticeable differences between the modern and because bats used to have 4 wings and 4 legs apparently.
Yeah. So so this has been interesting. We can all thank my wonderful fiance Camilla for finding this for us.
Yes, it's a great
So-
video.
So we will continue with this next time. In news on this channel right now, since we just put out the Fruit Fly's tale, we're getting fairly close to the end of the Ancestors' tale. We're working our way along. We'll get there eventually. But additionally, I'm back to working on. So RJ and I have finished chapters 1 and 2 of the Rocks Were There Volume 2. I'm editing chapter 4 now. So we're getting through it, you know. We're on our way, getting through that. So it'll be fun. I would think that next year you'll get Rocks Volume 2. That's my prediction. So yeah. So gird your loins for that one. Alrighty. So do you guys have anything you want to add?
If all goes well, I will be having Young Earth Creationist on my channel again next week, and that's going to be a conversation with between him and Cypher, who's been on this show a couple of times.
Okay. Yeah.
And so this guy has been talking to several people on Twitter, and I don't think we're ever going to get through to him, but Cypher's going to give it another go. So who knows?
Okay. Well, all right. Well, thank you everybody in the live chat for watching, and we will see all of you next. No, we won't see you next Thursday. I apologize. I'm going to be quite busy next Thursday, so.
And you have some event coming up, right? On Saturday?
Yeah. Yeah, something's happening next Saturday. I can't remember what it is. I can't put my finger on it.
Or it could be you need to enjoy the last few days of your previous life. I don't know.
I'm ready to move on to bigger and better things.
See. That's always good.
I'm quite ready to move on. So
that's good to hear.
So yeah. Alrighty. Well, yeah. So next Thursday, we have like the wedding rehearsal and stuff, and I have no idea if I'll be doing stuff in the afternoon on that day. So it's safe just to say we won't have the show next Thursday. So sorry, but we'll come back the next Thursday. Actually, hold on. Let me check my.
Enough. If all goes.
Oh, then that next Thursday is my birthday.
That next Thursday is your birthday. Okay.
Yep. Hold on. I think actually we're supposed to have dang it, where are my reminders? Hold on. Let me find my reminders. Yes. Fazal Rana wants to have a chat with Dapper and me on the 7th. Wait. No, sorry. On the 14th. Sorry. So Fazal Rana wants to have a chat with Dapper and me on November 14th.
On what topic?
On information, the concept of information in biology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jackson, prepare something about information theory because he won't probably.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I started reading the paper, the first paper on Shannon information. So I started reading that. So I'm going to try to fit that in my brain to keep it kind of on the back burner while we have this discussion and try to see how. And then I have some other papers about information in biology. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, it'll be fun. We like Fuzz. He's been on the show a few times. So, alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see all of you next time. So, bye everybody.
Bye all.
Bye-bye.